Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
City building games took off with the advent of SimCity. Everybody knows and understands what a city building game is for the computer. Now, SimCity has come in the board game world as card games and etc. with not very good results. Now, city building games is something everybody's always looking for that's really not hit that mark until Suburbia came. Suburbia is the city building game. It's a little bit of a complicated game, how you're bidding and auctioning off and you're adding things to the city, and there's some tracking here. So as your city gets bigger, it's going to have problems. It's going to be pushing itself down point-wise. But what's hardest about this game is that some of your tiles may trigger off what's in my city. So we're all building kind of cities that kind of have this microorganism together where individualized, you have your own city and how you're scoring, but you may play off what's going on in my city. And while that's fascinating from a tracking standpoint, that can be a negative for some people. Now, I also did a review on the Lidco upgrade pieces that can kind of help with that, and you kind of keep all of that track as you're going. Otherwise, this is a fantastic game. This is the city building game to me, and one that if you haven't played and you're into city building games, I think you absolutely need to. Now, abstract some of that out, but I like that, like, when there's more restaurants, there's more competition, and you have to worry about some of these factors, like what you're placing next to each other. Remember, it kind of reminds me a lot of SimCity, but SimCity for Super Nintendo that I put a lot of time into. So that's kind of what it reminds me of. This is going to give you interesting decisions on which tiles that you're going to be bringing in, and how you're going to be bidding and paying for those, how the tiles interact with each other based on where they're placed, and how you want certain things by other things. Some tiles are just going to be more valuable than other tiles, or more valuable to you in your city, and how are they going to play off what everybody else has already built. These bring out fantastic decisions. Now, the game is probably medium weight for most gamers. If you're a very new gamer, this might be a little bit over your head, but if you're a new gamer and you played some SimCity, you kind of understand how these things kind of fit together, you may be okay. So this is kind of one I might just take slow with people. Otherwise, I think you're going to have a blast with this game. Most gamers already know about Suburbia, know how great it is. Maybe they played the spinoff, Castles on Mad King Ludwig, but I think it's well worth going back to this one. This one is a huge hit for a reason. If you've missed it, try it out. If you've never heard of it, this is a great time to jump in. With the collector's edition just being released, you have a wide variety of expansions and things that you can add into this and promos, etc. But you don't need any of that because the base game is just fantastic. One I highly recommend, and I think, if not all, most gamers should have played this or own this. It's that good, people. Suburbia by Bezier Games. Live in the town tomorrow, today. So when you open it up, you're going to get a bunch of cardboard here that will be a place to put your coins. These are all really nice. And you're going to have your little players, things that you'll be using during the game. And your player aids are really nice cardboard. These are something people cheap out on a lot. Very nice here. Very, very nice. And you're going to have your scoring board that you'll have as you go up. Once again, people cheap out on this a lot. It's very, very nice. You're going to get an explanation of all the tiles in the game. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And then we'll have the rule book, which we'll look at in a few minutes. I have the broken token insert here, so you can kind of ignore that for now because yours will not look like this. But you're going to have a bunch of tiles. These are very thick, and they have different areas on it. You're going to have these cardboard coins that will come with it. A really nice first player marker, which I believe I probably stickered. That's why it's a little bit crooked. And then these part right here will not come with it. These are the upgrades from Litco that I added. I've really decked this game out because I like it quite a bit. Spoiler alert, but the majority of the game is going to be these tiles that you'll be utilizing during the game. So let's talk about the rulebook here, what you're going to get. An explanation of all of the tiles in detail. This is brilliant. The gold tiles are on the back. Super, super nice they included this. As for the rules itself, they're going to be very simple. You're going to have a setup here that you will have. Picture of all of the components, and then explanation of kind of how the game works, and some strategy tips at the end. They got pictures and examples, but there's a lot of smooshed in here. This could have been a couple more pages, but it really felt like they wanted to get these credits in. There's a solo game that's attached to it that you can actually utilize during the game. The rule books are good. I found this to be a very easy game to pick up. One of the reasons why I think it's so popular. First thing I'm going to do is try to explain the scoring board. It's going to work in conjunction with your scoring here. So as you do, you're going to be able to track your income at the top and your reputation. This will just tell you how much income you're going to get each round and how many victory points you get each round. What you're going to see here on the victory point tracker is you're going to see a scoring mechanism that you're probably used to, maybe from Carcassonne or otherwise. But you see these red lines. So whenever you cross a red line, your income is going to fall. So if your income is at 9, it will then fall to 8. So the higher you go up, and you can see these red lines start to become more and more common, your income. That's going to be a catch-up mechanism that the game has. I wanted to start out by showing you this first because the player with the most points will win, but you're going to be penalized for scoring too many points early. So there is a strategy to the game to kind of hold back a little bit, let other people jump up and lose that income, and then make a big push at the end of the game. But just kind of realize and know that this is here. The next thing I'm going to do is kind of explain the board that you're playing with here, because this is probably half the game. So when the game sets up, you're going to have goals, these gold tokens that you would put out based on the number of players. So if you're doing a 3-player game, you wouldn't play the 4. If you were, or with a 2-player game, you would have less. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have tiles that will be placed out. So the yellow ones will go here, the gray ones will go there, and finally the green ones will go here. And these are kind of like the worst ones you can have. You can put your money here. I don't normally like to do that, but if you wanted to stack all the money out so it's easy reach, that's all that is for. Then you're going to notice that tiles are going to have A, B, and C on the back of them. So you'll take a number of A, B, or C based on the number of players that you have, and you will make stacks here of the A, B, and C tiles. I'm just going to place one of each just so you can kind of see how it is, but you would definitely have more of these based on the number of players stacked. Then you're going to take a tile from the A deck, and you're going to fill it up all the way. So you have 7 tiles out here to start the game. And then if it ever reaches out, you don't have enough A, you would then start taking from B. If B was completely gone, then you would start taking from C. And that's kind of how that works. So when the game starts out, you have a cost associated. So each tile is going to have a cost in the top left that you could purchase, but you also have to pay whatever price is above it. So these 2 over here have no extra additional cost, where this will cost you an extra 10. So instead of being 15 that's printed on the tile, this part right here would actually cost you 25. As tiles are bought, these tiles will move down, becoming cheaper, and then new tiles will come out to refill these spots. So, if you really wanted this one, but you're not willing to pay that high price, just know that it will become cheaper at some point. So these tiles will do different things. So you'll pay the cost over here. This will give you 1 income, and 1 income for each adjacent blue building. This one says $9 to pay, $3 income, but -1 for all other restaurants built after this one. They don't like competition. So this one's $20, you lose 2 income, but you get a reputation after you pass each one. So normally you lose income, you're also going to gain. So the PR firm can be very good. So each of these tiles are going to do something different. This one's cost $6, gives you no immediate benefit, but you get 1 income for every other airport already built, but -1 for each adjacent residential area, because people don't like to live by the airport. So when you purchase this on your turn, you would then make all those changes on your income and reputation tracks, moving your markers up and down. It's just a way for you to easily track it without having to go through and count all of the tiles all the time. So I'm going to set this aside for now. We'll place it up here. We'll place these tiles here. And I'm going to kind of show you how you'll be building your city as it progresses using this tracker. So when the game starts out, you're going to start out with a heavy factory, a community park, and a suburb. And you will get this for free, and you will adjust your trackers here. As new ones are built, as you're able to purchase them, like I just showed you, you will put them adjacent to other locations here on the board. So, and you want to pay particular attention. This one is -1 population for every green and every community, this gray one next to it. So I don't want to place this here, more than likely, because I'm going to get negative points. So maybe I'll stick it maybe over here, etc. So that's kind of how the game will adjust. And as you add these tiles, you'll be moving your trackers up and down to reflect what your city is producing. Now, the tiles are always double-sided. There's a lake on the side of every one. So if you wanted to place a lake down, you definitely could, especially if you can't afford something, because lakes are free. And you gain $2 for each adjacent yellow, gray, green, or blue. So if I was to place this here, it would cost me nothing, and I would get $4. So that's another way to get income. Maybe if I played it here, I would get $4. But let's say I had a building here, and I was able to place it here, I would get $6. So placing these lakes, you want to maximize it because some of the buildings will play off of them, but it also will generate income for you. So this is your main source of getting income during the game. So if you wanted to, you could also buy these investment markers, which you can place out instead of taking a tile. And basically what it's going to do, you're going to pay the cost of the tile again, and then this will double the effect, and you place it right over the cost. And that would signify this tile now can produce double. So if you have a tile that's producing quite a bit of resources or income for you, reputation, you may want to double down on that in order to double the price. So you would do so with these investment markers. There's also this one more round marker, which we put in with the C's. When it's drawn, everybody will have one more turn, and then the game will end. When the game is over, you will go back to this board, and during final scoring, all red lines are ignored. You will then score the goals that were assigned at the beginning of the game. Each player also has some goals that they got at the beginning of the game that are secret goals. You add up all those points, and whoever has the best reputation is your winner of Suburbia. Who should buy this game? Anyone who wants a sim city type board game. If you like city building, this is it. This is the one to get. Now you might have a small minority who might say, hey, this game or that game, I like it better. But the overwhelming majority of gamers would agree that Suburbia is the best city building game on the market. It most feels like SimCity, so much so I wish they would just slap SimCity on it. This is the sim building game that you want, the best that we have. Maybe something will come along better, but the game needs to be playable, it needs to be easy to get into, it needs to be fun, and this one clicks all these boxes. This is a classic game. Anybody who tells you otherwise is wrong, just wrong, because on this one, I'm in. This is the one that I want. This is the one I highly recommend. If you see me, you ever want to play it at a con, let me know, because this is one I'm normally very happy to play. Suburbia is a great game. I might even tell you to check out some of my other reviews about the upgrades. I might even say, hey, I'm putting out a review on the collector's edition. You might want to get that one if you're a huge fan. But this game is one of the all-time classics. It will go down in board gaming history as such. You should add this one to your collection. It's an absolute keeper.
Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.